On today's video, we're gonna take a deep dive into the differences between Apex, North Carolina and Holly Springs, North Carolina. We're gonna look at things like the culture, things to do, housing options, commutes to major points in the Raleigh Triangle area, schools, and overall lifestyle. Basically anything you need to know to make a decision whether Holly Springs or Apex would be a great place for you to move to. But first, let's give a little background on both cities. Apex and Holly Springs are both on the southeast side of the triangle. Both are in Wake County, which is the county where Raleigh is. Apex is the fourth largest city in the triangle with about 82,000 residents. It's very much got a polished feel about it, especially compared to a lot of the suburbs in the triangle area. It's basically what you would think of if you thought small town meets polished suburb. And of course, this is a vibe that a lot of people really love. Holly Springs, on the other hand, is the seventh largest city in the triangle with about 52,000 residents. It has a new, fresh, modern feel compared to most of the suburbs in the Raleigh Triangle area. And people really love the picture-perfect lifestyle that Holly Springs offers. Plus, it has a ton, and I do mean a ton, of new neighborhoods popping up all the time, which gives people plenty of options that are thinking about moving there. Both cities get an A+ on niche.com, which makes both cities a great option to move to no matter which way you go with this decision. So what is the overall feel and lifestyle like? Well, again, for Apex, it's got more of a polished feel about it. It feels very established, although there is a ton of growth still going on in Apex. We sometimes say that Apex is Cary Part 2 because basically, Apex and Cary have sort of merged together, so it's hard to determine where one city ends and the other begins. We have a ton of people, in fact, coming to us from our YouTube channel here wanting to buy a home in Cary, and they end up moving to Apex because it has so much of a similar vibe to it, and again, because Apex is pretty much attached at the hip to Cary, which is a pretty big deal. Also, Apex has been rated the best city in North Carolina to raise a family according to niche.com, which is a pretty big deal. Holly Springs, on the other hand, is a little quieter than Apex. It feels newer, has a lot of modern amenities about it. Again, it's the picture-perfect lifestyle. And the reason Holly Springs feels so new is because only 30 years ago, there were 1,000 residents in Holly Springs. Now over 52,000 people live there just 30 years later. So of course, everything has sprung up over the last 30 years and Holly Springs has dramatically changed. Also, Holly Springs was voted the second best place in the triangle to buy a home according to niche.com, which again is a big deal. So which has the best location and commute? As we said earlier in this video, the two cities are only 10 minutes apart. So if you like both cities but can't decide which one is best for you, know that it's pretty easy to get from one to the other. That being said, let's compare the commutes from one city and the other to downtown Raleigh. Apex is about 20 to 30 minutes to downtown Raleigh, whereas Holly Springs is about 25 to 35 minutes from downtown Raleigh, so just a little bit further. Commuting to the RDU International Airport is pretty easy, especially with the new 540 loop getting completed in that area. Apex to the RDU airport's about 20 to 25 minutes, whereas Holly Springs is about 25 to 30 minutes. The commute to Research Triangle Park is pretty easy as well. Apex to RTP is about 20 to 25 minutes, whereas Holly Springs to RTP is about 25 to 30 minutes. One thing you do need to be aware of though is if you take Interstate 540 to get to any of these places, there will be a toll fee. This is a toll road in this section of I-540. So with the NC Quick Pass, you're looking about $4 to make this commute. If you do not have the Quick Pass, you're looking about $8 to make this commute. So of course, those numbers add up pretty quickly over a month or a year period of time. So bear that in mind. Overall, Apex gets the nod on this one because the commute times are slightly lower. But again, we're talking 5, maybe 10 minutes here that Holly Springs is losing out on. So which city has the best downtown? Well, Apex has an amazing historic downtown. It's been around longer than Holly Springs has. There are several really great shops and restaurants. And in general, downtown Apex is a really great place for people to hang out on weekends. It's all centered around the historic train depot of Apex, and there's tons of events going on in Apex pretty much all the time. Things like the Peak City Pig Fest, Memorial Day ceremonies, Apex Oktoberfest, the very famous Apex Peak Fest, Apex Night Out, and the old-fashioned 4th of July fireworks ceremony. That's really, really well regarded for Apex. Lots of people come from all over everywhere to celebrate 4th of July. Apex also has a farmers market in downtown Apex. It's at the train depot. It happens every Saturday, but please know that in the winter, the hours can change up a bit. So you definitely want to check things out online before you head down that way. Downtown Holly Springs, however, is nice, but frankly, it's a little bit bland. Again, Holly Springs only had 1,000 residents about 30 years ago. So there really was no downtown per se back then. It sort of has sprung up over the last few years, and therefore it certainly doesn't have the historic feel that downtown Apex has. That all said, Holly Springs still has some really nice restaurants and shops down there. It's just newer and a little bit more sanitized. There's also events going on in Holly Springs like the Spring Fling, community yard sales all the time, International Food Festival, Holly Fest, Canine Con, which is a day where dogs and their humans can go enjoy the parks, and the July 5th Independence Celebration also happens in downtown Holly Springs. And there's also a farmers market that happens in Holly Springs as well. It happens every Saturday in downtown Holly Springs. Overall, Apex definitely beats Holly Springs when it comes to the downtown vibe. But again, the good news is both downtowns are only about 10 minutes apart, so you can certainly live in Holly Springs and go to downtown Apex if that's your jam. Next up, we need to tell you about the restaurants, things to do, and overall entertainment in both cities. But before we do, if you are trying to decide between Holly Springs and Apex, I get it. It can be a big decision and frankly cause you to probably break out in hives. The idea of moving to Raleigh from out of state or out of the area just a few years ago was really no big deal, but now it is a big deal. There's a lot of decisions to be made. We have people like yourself calling us every single day asking for our advice to guide them through the process of buying the right home in the right area of the triangle, and we're most certainly happy to help you as well. You definitely owe it to yourself to call or text us at the information below. And again, my team and I are experts at helping people find the right home for them, and we can certainly help you as well. So let's get at the restaurants, entertainment, and things to do in both cities. Apex has about 125 restaurants, whereas Holly Springs has about 100 restaurants. Both have some really great options. In Apex, you have Scratch Kitchen and Tap Room, as well as Osteria G Italian, and The Provincial, which is a farm-to-table fine dining restaurant. Holly Springs has Viennese Resto Bar Italian, Osha Thai, and Nightingale Rooftop Restaurant and Bar, among many others. I would definitely give Apex the win in this category. They do have more restaurants and they have more independent restaurants. Holly Springs, on the other hand, has some good independent restaurants, but most of what you're going to find in Holly Springs are going to be the chain variety that you would find in most towns and cities in the country. Next up, let's discuss the entertainment and activity options. In Apex, there's tons of things to do. For example, we've already talked a little bit about Peak Fest, but this is a really great big event that brings people in from all over the triangle. It's a huge arts and crafts festival. It happens every May in downtown Apex. You can also visit the Halle Cultural Arts Center and enjoy the artwork or attend an event there at the center. You can also visit the North Carolina Railroad Museum right there in downtown Apex, as well as local breweries and the Mad Splatter. This is a really cool place where you can go in and do painting or paint each other. They give you like plastic outfits to wear so you don't get your clothes messed up. They also have the option where you can do pottery and paint pottery there as well, but the Mad Splatter is a place you can definitely go to get your aggression out. And there's also plenty of shops and restaurants in Salem Street in downtown Apex. Holly Springs activities and events include Ting Park, which is a great athletic facility with soccer fields, tennis courts, playgrounds for the kids, and an 1,800-seat stadium. There's also Bass Lake Park in Holly Springs where you can fish or rent a canoe or boat. Also, the Holly Springs Cultural Center is in Holly Springs, and the Holly Springs Greenway encircles the lake. As well, residents can enjoy the Parish Womble Park, and of course, all the shops and restaurants in downtown Holly Springs. There's also a good number of parks and greenways in both cities. Apex has the Apex Community Park, Apex Nature Park, the Apex West Greenway, the Beaver Creek Greenway, and the Reedy Branch Greenway. Holly Springs has the Bass Lake Park Trails, the Oak Leaf Greenway, the Carl Dean Greenway, Womble Park Trails, and the Jones Park Greenway. So in other words, plenty of opportunity to get out and commune with nature in either city. So I would give outdoor activities a tie for both Holly Springs and Apex. Longtime viewers of our channel know that one way we compare one city to the other is by the number of Starbucks. So to let you know there are 6 Starbuckses in Apex and 4 in Holly Springs. So definitely Apex wins the war of the Starbuckses between these two cities. Next up, let's compare the schools for both cities. Apex and Holly Springs have amazing schools. Both Apex Public Schools and Holly Springs Public Schools get an A according to niche.com, which means they both win in the school category because A is the highest grade possible that you can get in this category on niche.com. Next up, let's go over the housing market to compare the two cities. Both cities have a similar style of homes, and over the last 25 years, there's been a ton of growth going on. So there's plenty of new construction or newer construction options in both cities. Median prices for a townhome in Apex are coming in at about $435,000, whereas in Holly Springs, median price for a townhome is coming in at about $376,000 currently. For single family homes, median home price for a single family home in Apex is about $704,000 currently. And in Holly Springs, median sales price for a single family home is coming in about $643,000. And just talking about new construction, the median home price in Apex for a new construction home is currently coming in at $627,000, whereas in Holly Springs, it's coming in at $802,000. I would attribute this to the fact that more townhomes are being built currently in Apex than in Holly Springs, and that definitely skews the numbers when you're looking at new construction in total. The median home price for a resale home in Apex is $613,000, whereas in Holly Springs, that number is $571,000. In Apex, 38% of all the homes being sold are new construction homes, whereas in Holly Springs, it's coming in at about 14% of all homes being sold are new construction. However, a lot of new construction homes are not in the MLS system, and therefore I think that number would be a bit higher than 14%, but you get the idea. And overall, both Apex and Holly Springs are pretty competitive housing markets. So if you happen to come across a home that looks like a model or is show worthy, know that it is very likely that that's going to sell pretty quickly in both Apex and Holly Springs. Next up, let's talk about shopping and amenities. Both cities have plenty of different grocery stores, and Apex has most of the typical big box chain stores like Target, Walmart, Kohl's, TJ Maxx, Publix, and Apex also has a Costco. Holly Springs has a few different shopping centers and also has a good number of the big box stores like Target, Walmart, Home Depot, Marshall's, Harris Teeter grocery store, and Aldi grocery store, just to name a few. Apex has the 160-acre Apex Community Park. 50 of these acres are dedicated to a lake where you can go fish or boat. There's also 11 miles of greenways in Apex, plus plenty of parks and playgrounds for the kiddos. You've also got proximity to Jordan Lake by living in Apex, as well as soccer fields, dog parks, walkable downtown shops and restaurants, plenty of breweries for those who like beer, art galleries, and of course, lots of different shopping options. Holly Springs, on the other hand, also has plenty of amenities about the city. We've already talked a lot about the Bass Lake Park. This includes a 54-acre lake for fishing and boating. There's also walking trails around the lake. And also in Holly Springs, you've got the Eagles Landing Park. This park has a 30,000 square foot recreation center, which is really, really cool. There's also a ton of greenways in Holly Springs, as well as fields for sports and courts for tennis and volleyball. Plus, of course, plenty of playgrounds for the kiddos in Holly Springs. Next up, let's talk about some of the best communities and subdivisions in both cities. In Apex, you've got the Retreat at Friendship. These are single-family homes and townhomes, with single-family homes priced from about $660,000 all the way up to about $885,000 currently, and townhomes priced between $400,000 and $530,000 currently. Amenities for this neighborhood include pools, walking trails, play lawns, and gardens. Also in Apex, you have Ellsworth. This is a luxury single-family home community with homes ranging in square footage from about 4,100 square feet to about 7,200 square feet. Prices range from about 1.6 million to 2.5 million. And this is a small community, so there's no community amenities. Most people that would want like a pool would have one in their backyard. Next up, we have Regency at Holly Springs in Holly Springs, North Carolina. This is a 55 plus community with single family homes. Homes range from about 1,600 square feet to about 2,400 square feet. And prices range from about $565,000 to $850,000 plus. Amenities include access to the 12 Oaks Country Club. You get a social membership to 12 Oaks by owning it Regency. There's also an on-site activities director, plus a private amenity center with pool, tennis courts, and playgrounds, etc. We've actually helped a couple of families buy homes in Regency in the past couple of years. They absolutely love the lifestyle that you get from living in this neighborhood and the easy access to 12 Oaks. It's super, super cool. Definitely recommended. Next up, we have the Bluffs at Morgan Park in Holly Springs. These are luxury single family homes as well. Size between 3,500 and 5,000 square feet, with prices ranging from $1.1 million to over $1.4 million. Amenities in this neighborhood include fitness center, pool, and playground. So next up, let's discuss the pros and cons of both cities. The biggest pros of Apex is it has really charming character. It feels very, very established. It has a great balance of that suburban feel with still retaining that small town vibe. Biggest pros of Holly Springs, on the other hand, is it's quieter, cleaner, and a little more relaxed. There's lots of newer neighborhoods in Holly Springs, which is definitely a plus, and it has a lot of future growth potential still. Some of the biggest drawbacks of Apex includes that the price of homes have really skyrocketed over the last few years. It's become a really, really popular place to live. Unfortunately, some parts of Apex have really lost their identity. We've already talked before in this video about how Apex and Cary are pretty much tied at the hip. We've kind of coined the phrase that the whole area is Capex, Cary and Apex merged, and unfortunately that's the case. A lot of Apex has sort of lost its identity. It's hard to tell if you're in one city or the other. Another knock on Apex is it has a busier feel, especially compared to a more quiet, peaceful feeling that you're going to get in Holly Springs. Biggest drawbacks of Holly Springs? It can feel a little boring, especially compared to Apex and some of the other more organic cities that have really cool downtowns and cool character about them. Also, another negative along those same lines, it feels new. It's a much less established city, so it definitely feels a little more modern and a little more sterile than, say, Apex. And another concern people have for both Cary and Apex is the close proximity to the Sharon Harris nuclear power plant. Most people who live in the area just kind of go about their lives and they know that the power plant is there, but it is generally not that big of a concern for them. However, I am not an expert on this topic, so please do your own research if you're deciding to move to one or other of these towns so that you absolutely have the comfort level that you need to have to live in these towns. We recently filmed a video talking about some of the great new construction neighborhoods that are in Apex and Holly Springs. Some of them have some really great amenities like pools and fitness centers and walking trails and playgrounds for the kiddos and so much more. Click here to watch that video. I think you're really going to find that helpful. And as always, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.